All right, friends, we back with a new video. It's T-Man. And guess who? Our favorite lifting gym slave, Jason Blaha himself, of the strength and the fitness world. Imaginary world. All right, let's review this video, man. Jason Blaha says, if scientific data is a useful guide, why did creatine and fish oil change? I don't know, did it?
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. I'm going to get a sip of my water first.
Okay.
Get my radio voice going and let's talk about this. All right.
Yes.
You know, I made some videos in the last couple of days. Well, I didn't make some of them I made over a month ago. But
You made them in the last couple of days, but you made them over several couple months ago. But you made him the last couple of days, but wait, I made him a couple of months ago. This guy's so full of shit. He even trips over his own lies.
hit today, you know, that people bring up, but Jason, if we're going to say that data is what we should be looking at for a lot of these things, particularly when it comes.
Look at his lifting videos that he keeps putting up now. He got tired of filming himself, and so he just does voiceovers on the same lifting video, because you can see he's got a type of beard or hair, some hair growth on his face. And you've been seeing this for a while now when he's talking about these videos. He makes these videos in his little bedroom there. He makes one after the other, one after the other. I don't even know if he's even lifting anymore. Maybe he quit lifting. What makes him lift a heavy weight is steroids. It's not him doing it, because if he's quitting, that force production is going to go away. Go away like the imaginary force production it is. Get it? Like the practice, the lift it is. All that practice going to go away. So he relies on steroids for sure. All these telltales you could see just watching this channel. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out.
The supplements, particularly when it comes to food, which is what I do say, they're like, well, then what about the problem with creatine and fish oil? You know, a lot of that is not turned out so good, and we try.
What about fish oil, creatine oil? Creatine does a lot. There's so many studies on it. The most studied supplement in the world, and it does work. It doesn't work well in an adapted state. It works for adaptations. It works well when you get adaptations, but you're not getting any because that's a domain limit and you don't know how to get more adaptations.
The science, so what do you say about that? And I had someone ask that, and I think that's a great question to cover. And the problem there was not so much with the data. The problem was that
they have data on taurine. One scientist said that he feels like Superman on it, okay, on taurine. Taking taurine, I think it was 1,000 grams a day, when it's really, you're supposed to, it's a gram per decade, they say, but whatever. I don't know. He took some high dosage. You say you feel like Superman. Okay, whatever.
Conclusions that people drew from that data.
Amino acids work in high dosages. They work really well.
Yeah. Okay. And this is why it's important to look deeper into data.
What's cool to you is having a game
to then trust the people who are making the conclusions, which is why when we start looking at things like financial bias, it becomes kind of a big deal, right? Like, for example, when people have that one meta-analysis claiming that there's no link between red meat and diabetes, funded by beef and pork organizations.
Oh, wait, there isn't. It's a natural diet. It's your natural diet. You know this Thunberg people? Oh, man, I got to tell you something in this video, bro. All these fucking activists, I want to save the planet. It's fucking climate change and all that. Oh, yeah, I know. It's because of these little cows blowing farts in the air. Are you sick, man? All these activists, they're the contributors of the destruction of the environment, okay? And this greenhouse, or whatever we want to call it, this climate change. Because why? Because they're eating fruits and vegetables. The farmers, these farmers, they're deforestation. They're contributing to deforestation by creating more and more of these stupid-ass fruit and fucking plant farms, okay? They're not a necessity. Animals are. But look at the Amazon. It's deforested practically. Why? Because they keep fucking building more of them, this garbage. Why are you eating sugar and fucking useless fiber all day? It's useless. It does nothing in your body, okay? It does nothing for you. You need nutrients. Where do you get it? Meat. End of story. You're eating what? Sugar all day? You want to eat sugar, carbs, fucking cellulose, whatever the fuck. All this garbage. You're all contributing. If you're eating all these artificial diets, man-made farmed diets, then you are a contributor to the destruction of the environment. You understand? Animals, they create the environment. They roam naturally on this planet. That's how it works. Farms are unnatural. Animals, natural.
Financial supporters.
So all these vegan assholes, vegan people, these assholes, and these vegan asshole fucking vegetarian assholes, and these activists like Thunberg and all of them, they're all arrogant and they're screaming and yelling about, you know, killing the planet, all that. Meanwhile, they go home and then they eat a salad and then they drink a fruit juice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, save the planet, eh? You're contributing to it by drinking and eating that shit, okay? Because it deforests the planet and it kills animals and rodents and whatever else. It takes up their space, okay? You're taking up their space.
It conflicts with enormous amounts of other studies that show the exact opposite, right?
Yeah.
That's their conclusions based
He's the most unnatural asshole in the world
their
himself.
gathering of the data.
Listen, this asshole's the most unnatural asshole himself, too. He's an asshole, the biggest asshole on the internet. Listen to him speak all day. His garbage diet, pasta, pizza, this, that, whatever, garbage shit all day, coffee, whatever. It's all garbage he's eating. When does he eat real food? That's why he looks dog shit. Dog shit.
But we've got very, very large scale studies, extremely large scale studies.
Oh, yeah.
Showing stuff like people
Where are these scale studies?
with the highest intakes of red meat have a 62% higher rate of type 2 diabetes.
This guy's so full of shit, it's incredible. Oh, we got these studies, type 2 diabetes, red meat. Red meat has no sugar in it and it has no toxins. It's highly nutrient. So how are they getting these diabetes from eating red meat? This is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Right? And we know the mechanism.
I know. The cows, too. They're destroying the environment. Their little farts are destroying, they're causing this, the climate change. Yeah, okay. It's not the deforestation and the plants and the farmers and all that. The farming of the plants and the fruits and everything, making fucking rubber trees everywhere and just deforesting everything. No, that's not causing it. It's the little farts from the cows. And the little cow meat is causing you to be diabetic. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah.
By which it contributes. This has been found directly in the metabolic ward measurements. We know.
No, it hasn't. It says it prevents cancer, red meat. There's new studies on everything on meat right now. It says it's protective, it's anti-aging, and a whole bunch of stuff. What is he talking about?
How it contributes to it.
Yeah, how
so we have causation. So that's what I mean by looking at the conclusions people are drawing. But let's look at those two specific ones, because that's a great question. Because one of it is lack of the best ability to measure stuff. Right? Equipment limitations. The other is misunderstanding the data. Not actually looking at the data and making assumptions that weren't fully supported by the data. Only by a
Right, assumptions, sure, yeah. We're all making assumptions, okay.
complete look at the data. So the creatine, let's look at that first. The studies are showing creatine helps with muscle. We need to be clear there.
It does.
It's just that
I would agree, creatine does help, but it only helps in an adaptation. It does some other things too. It's an amino acid, man. It helps building, it aids in building muscle, some of it. I will upload something on amino acids, okay?
very disappointing for people like me who've been supplement skeptics a really long time, who really got ripped off when they were younger. I want people to understand.
Not with amino acids. I know they've all worked for people back in the 80s and 90s, so I don't know what he's talking about.
When I make those statements, when I was in my early 20s, I spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on supplements, just like everyone else, because I was young and naive and didn't know better. I mean, I was literally the guy, I'm saying the protein might have actually been good, but I was one of those guys who's like, oh man, we got to get 50 to 100 grams of whey protein immediately post-workout in the gym, and then we got to mix all these other things with it. I used to put my...
You do. You don't need whey protein and all that. You need real protein, but he eats garbage. He eats plants, see? That's his problem. He relies on all this artificial shit.
10 grams of creatine in it, 30 grams of glutamine.
What an idiot. What an idiot. I've eaten meat all my entire life. I never liked vegetables or fruit, man, when I was young. I threw them away. I said, I even sometimes I said, wow, It's been 12 months since I ate an orange. I used to scratch my head. Man, I never eat any of that shit. My mom didn't like me because I would eat stuff like butter. Well, I would eat bread, but it was rye bread. But again, you shouldn't be eating bread. But anyways, that's seeds. But yeah, so I ate bread, but with a lot of butter on it, and a lot of milk and stuff like that, and a lot of meat, pork, meat. I don't know, chicken, this, that, any kind of meat. We even ate rabbit. We were able to get rabbit back in those days. Our neighbors had rabbits, man. Yeah, you can even eat turtle. They even made turtle and shit, turtle soup and shit back then. I don't know. The people had all kinds of weird stuff. My mom would buy beef tongue, fucking cow's tongue and shit. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. It's all relative, man.
Couple other amino acids I don't even remember now what I was throwing in there, arginine or whatever. And then it turns out stuff like glutamine.
Arginine's amazing. It'll give you big balls. It'll give you big testicles. Fuck it. It increases growth hormone. It does a bunch of stuff, man. Yeah, that shit's a muscle builder for sure, arginine.
It doesn't help at all with muscle growth. And then we know why it doesn't. And again, that's something
Oh, yes, it does.
I've discussed in details. So I do want people to understand I have been part of this. I've also used early on one of the supplements that was so good that it got outlawed at the federal level for being in competition with
Oh, my God. He thinks, like, people pay attention to him, the supplement company. Don't even care. Don't even know who he is.
pharmaceutical drugs, and that was ephedra. Yeah, it was a legitimate weight loss product. Studies confirmed it.
Shape matters because round cleans better for 100% cleaner teeth. Oral-B. Meet Google.
Here it was completely outlawed in the United States at the federal level. Okay, so creatine. It just doesn't work as well as we thought. So we had all these study after study after study after study after study.
It works extremely well, and there's studies on it. But you just can't understand the studies, Blaha, because you're too stupid and you don't know what an adaptation is or how to get one.
Showing this benefit, and then it turns out what they've speculated looking at the later data, it was still intramuscular water. So most of the muscle growth that we thought was there was really intramuscular water. So
It is intermuscular water when you are adapted, because the progenitor is not coming out, splitting, dividing, and increasing in number. What does creatine do when it's in your system and you do get an adaptation? An adaptation means you're going to get a repair and a remodeling. That means that the satellite cell, when it comes out, it's going to split, divide, and increase in number. So it will augment the satellite cell and increase them exponentially more. It'll get it to increase higher. That was the test that they did. They tested it. You understand? In an adaptation, they don't test. You don't get anything if you're adapted. If you're adapted, there's zero adaptations. Understand how it works, please, sir?
turns out it's something like 20% as effective as we thought it was for decades. This is what the newest data is showing, and that's so disappointing.
Boy, is he dumb, eh?
And it used to be, creatine was really cheap a long time ago.
That's not what the data shows. The data shows otherwise.
It seemed like a couple of years ago, the price shot up.
It's in my community section, way down somewhere. I don't know.
So then, you're paying more money for way less for something that was already a mild benefit. It's just frustrating to people. But here's what I did have someone point out. I saw one expert point out the other day on that topic. He goes, okay, so what? Let's say that this data is true, that maybe over the entire course of your training life, creatine might contribute to 1 pound of extra muscle.
Actually, no, it can contribute to a lot of pounds of muscle, providing you get an adaptation.
That's number one.
And you're not adapted.
That's still better than any other supplement in the world is going to do, other than, again, possibly protein, depending on what's going on with your diet. That's more than any other supplement, number one. Number two, he's like, well, do you want the pound of muscle or don't you? He's like, and that's also a valid point. Okay, so what? It turns out to be a minuscule amount. You get maybe he'll see.
Okay, let's get one thing straight. These amino acids build muscle, but how do they build muscle? When there's damage. If there's no damage, there's nothing for the body to build, right? So what does adapted mean? There's no damage. Adapted means there's no damage in your body, so there's nothing there to repair and remodel. You are a comfortable factory worker now in the gym, and you're going to get an adaptation, but it isn't the adaptation that you're thinking you're going to get. You're going to get a repair and a remodeling. No. You're going to get an adaptation in motor units and androgen receptors for that force production. You're going to be a good lifter, a good lifter at lifting a heavy weight. That's what you're going to get. That's the adaptation you are going to get. That one takes off and the muscle stays the same. It's protected. It doesn't want to build any more muscle to carry you through a famine.
The course of your entire training life, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Do you want the pound or not? Okay, maybe it's not that great, but it's still a pound of muscle. How much work have a lot of us put in for a pound of muscle? I mean, a valid point, but it is disappointing. Fish oil. The problem is fish oil does have a medical benefit in a pharmaceutical context. We'll get to that in a second. The data, here's the problem. People saw the data and said, aha, the supplementation must be good. Why? Because we in the supplement world, not me because I'm not in the supplement world, the fitness world, we want.
I thought you were. Aha.
Want there to somewhere be some holy grail of supplements, and we really want it. But a number of registered dietitians, researchers, and experts have pointed out the data has never supported fish oil. All of you were interpreting it as pro-fish oil. The data has never supported that. The science doesn't support it. What the data showed was that these health benefits, lower inflammation, lower cardiovascular disease, all these things occurred in populations of people or in people who had higher intakes of omega-3.
Are you considering a new career?
Higher intakes of omega-3. Okay, we need to be clear. That is what they said. All the people out there then said, well, wait, EPA and DHA are probably the best ones. We do need those. They're the hardest to get. So therefore, if we're supplementing fish oil, that must have this effect because it's omega-3. And if higher intakes equal better, supplementing must produce the same thing as higher intakes. Well, that's not what they found. What they found was that when the data was dug closer, it's just because people who eat whole foods with a lot of it. So you're actually getting a lot more for one. Okay, people need to remember that.
Man, you don't need that. It doesn't really work, the fish oil thing. You just need real fish. Eat real food. Why do you need all these supplements? You're not in a third world country. You can afford. You can eat fish, okay?
The amount of fish oil
You can't go fishing then.
that you would have to consume to get the equivalent amount of fish oil that's in if you ate a pound of salmon once or twice a week, you'd be eating that whole bottle. You'd be eating that whole bottle every
He's full of shit, man. I get enough out of salmon, even one piece.
week. I don't think people realize how
He's lying.
much actual fish oil and fish fat is in salmon. It's not, one big salmon fillet is not the equivalent of 3 of your fish oil caps. It's a lot more.
Oh, well, I agree. It's a lot more. Yeah, fish is a lot more than the fish oil caps, for sure.
Same thing with a lot of other omega-3s, okay? Like what? Walnuts, black seeds, tofu, all those things have really large amounts of it. Keep in mind, ALA has a ton of health benefits that has been found. So the thing is number one, possibly a load of it. Number two, maybe there's something happening different with the whole foods versus a supplement. Number three, there is a use, and this is what cardiologists and other experts have said. They're like, well, the reason people aren't seeing the benefits because the fish oil studies show nothing. There's no correlation with fish oil intake and these health benefits when it's taken out of omega-3s as a whole. And
Yes, I read that study too, Blaha. We know about it. They talk about it all over the internet, man. I know you're watching other channels because I've watched them too, and they all come up with this stuff right away. Data, this, that. That's why you're making all these videos.
this fish oil supplementation was looked at, the data just doesn't support it. And so therefore, that's the issue. So people, hopefully they understand that the data was not wrong. It was our interpretation of perfectly good data. Now, what the cardiologists and other people who use fish oil for prescriptions point out, the amount you're getting from the supplement's not enough to get the effect I want in my heart patients. It's just not enough unless you're taking like 10 of those every single day. Every day for 6 months straight. Because what they're saying is that's just not enough. They're like, you actually need a minimum of 2 grams of combined EPA and DHA every single day. Well, you start looking at some of your fish oils, you start saying, wait, there's only like, whatever, 180 milligrams in my particular capsule of actual EPA and DHA. You start doing the math, it's like, man, I need 12 of these every day for 6 months. And the benefit is not massive. The benefit, what they found, and they find with their patients, it lowers triglycerides. So in cardiac patients with elevated triglycerides, high dose EPA and DHA, again, 2 grams or more a day, lowers triglycerides. So that lowers their cardiovascular risk. Okay. So we'd be back over to, if you're trying to get that from eating fish, you'd be eating, a small fillet every single.
Oh man, they're taking the bro. We live in a first world country. We're not in a third world country, okay? They can't sell supplements to third world because they don't have any money, so what's the point? Get it? So they sell it to you people. Why? Because you're deficient in your diet anyways. Here's the thing. You're not third world, but you're eating a third world diet, a slave diet that they eat in the third world. Look at this very intelligently, okay? You are eating a slave diet in the first world of a third world country. Okay, dude? And so you need these supplements. Why? Because you're eating a slave diet. That's why. But you don't live in a third world country. So why do you need these supplements? Because you're eating a slave diet. Okay? Yeah, you're eating an unnatural diet. Okay? So you're deficient. Overfed, undernourished, deficient in nutrients. So you go and you try to run and buy these supplements. It's crazy.
Day.
Or like he said, you think they have some magic powers, they're going to build you a muscle magically out of thin air. You don't have to go through the process of repairing and remodeling and damaging your muscle fibers, going through all that hell. You want it the easy way. It's going to magically build it out of thin air. Poof, magic dragon. So that's why people take steroids. It's a shortcut. Maybe they don't want it for a long time. They want it for a short time. I really don't know what they're doing out there. People do whatever they want to do in this world. It's a very unnatural world now, more unnatural than it's ever been. And so I really don't care what people do out there. Personally, I like being the way I am. And there's nothing wrong with some cosmetic look if you want to fix yourself. Maybe you want to color the gray out of your hair. I don't know. Look at Michael Hearn right now in his video. He uses shoe polish for his beard. He puts stubble and he shoe polishes it black, so you don't see the gray in it. Yeah, he's the only guy that's 55 without gray hair. Yeah, he's defied all age of aging, even though lifting accelerates aging, and he is a super lifting slave. So how has he defied this accelerated aging in lifting? I'm not a lifting slave. I don't look old. I'm natural. I haven't done anything to my body. Natural means I haven't augmented my body with anything. I haven't done anything to it artificially. You understand me? That's what natural means. It means natural in the natural world. In the artificial world, people do things unnaturally here. Get it? Yeah. Like Blaha, he's unnatural.
Salmon, again, one of the higher omega-3 fat fishes. So the issue there is, number one, dosing is probably a huge factor. Number two, when supplements are looked at separately from it being found in Whole Foods, it's a different data set. Again, the data wasn't incorrect in this case. We misinterpreted it as all omega-3s must include the supplements as well. And we were counting it as one data set. People were in general, including a lot of experts. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
Right on, man. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you think about that? Like, subscribe, support the channel. Scientific data is a useful guide. Why did creatine and fish oil, whatever, okay, fail? Well, because, why did it change? I don't know. It didn't really change. Are you talking about the scientific data? Why did it change? Because they didn't put enough money into it to figure it out. But the creatine, there is good data on it. So I don't know what he's talking about. The data changed for the better, actually, when it came to creatine. But creatine's the most studied supplement out there. Man, you can find shed loads on creatine. I don't know about fish oil, though. Haven't really looked into it too much. I'm not interested in that, but okay, whatever. See you in the next one. Comment down below, helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe if you like the channel, subscribe. But I know you won't, because nobody wants to learn anything out there. They all want to do anything artificially. See you in the next one. Ciao.